The 2020-21 North American winter was one of the most impactful winters in North America in several years. Several significant winter weather events occurred, including a crippling early-season ice storm in the southern plains, a powerful nor'easter which impacted the mid-Atlantic and New England states in December, another major nor'easter in early February, a historic outbreak of bitterly cold temperatures across much of the country in mid-February, and a barrage of major winter storms impacting areas from the deep south to the northeast. A developing La Nina pattern was expected to influence the majority of the winter in North America. While there is no well-agreed upon date used to indicate the start of winter in the northern hemisphere, there are two definitions of winter which may be used. Based on the astronomical definition, winter began at the winter solstice which occurred on December 21, 2020. The winter ends at the spring equinox which occurred on March 20, 2021. Based on the meteorological definition, the first day of winter was on December 1 and the last day was February 28. Both definitions involve a period of approximately 3 months. With some variability, winter is often defined by meteorologists to be the 3 calendar months with the lowest average temperatures. Since both definitions span the calendar year, it is possible to have a winter storm in 2 different years. On October 15, 2020, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Climate Prediction Center released its U.S. winter outlook. The temperature and precipitation outlooks reflected the likelihood of a La Nina pattern developing during most of the winter. The forecast called for warmer than average temperatures across much of the southern and southwestern United States, as well as the East Coast, with cooler than average temperatures in the far northwestern United States. Near average temperatures were expected in the Midwest. The forecast also called for drier than average conditions across almost all of the southeastern and southwestern United States, and wetter than average conditions in much of the northern tier and Midwest, with near average precipitation in the northeast and parts of the Midwest. On November 30, 2020, Environment Canada released its winter outlook for December, January and February as part of their monthly climate outlooks. The agency predicted near to above average temperatures across most of Canada, particularly in the southern regions of the nation, such as southern British Columbia, southern Ontario, Quebec, and especially Atlantic Canada. Colder than average temperatures were expected to develop in the northern regions of the provinces, as well in the northern Canadian prairies due to the polar vortex and La Nina. Above average precipitation was forecasted to occur in British Columbia, southern Quebec, and quite evidently Atlantic Canada as well. Winter weather events began in late October in North America, with a crippling and devastating ice storm in the southern plains, which later merged with the remnants of Hurricane Zeta and produced more snow in New England. November was generally quiet in terms of winter weather, with only a few minor snow events in the Midwest. Late in the month, however, a storm system moved through the Ohio Valley bringing over 9 inches of snow from the system. Areas farther inland saw as much as 44 inches west of Alaska. It later moved on to hit Alaska, after only slightly weakening, causing high surf and gusty winds in the Aleutian Islands. January and the new year began with a storm system moving from the Gulf of Mexico to the northeast. On New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, it produced a swath of wintry weather extending over 2,000 miles. And the system also produced up to 2 feet, and that prompted an area of wind chill advisories. At the end of the month, a storm complex and atmospheric river event began to unfold in the western United States, with snowfall totals as high as 100 inches and rainfall totals over a foot in many areas, causing widespread flooding and mudslides. The system later became a nor'easter, bringing heavy and impactful snow to both coastal and interior areas of the Northeast, with both the Boston and New York City metropolitan areas seeing 18 to 24 inches of snow. February began with a winter storm that moved through the Great Plains and Midwest, with heavy snow and blizzard-like conditions sparking a 40-vehicle pileup on Interstate 80, eastbound in Iowa, causing several serious injuries. It was followed just a few days later by a fast-moving nor'easter that brought moderate snowfall to the I-95 corridor on the day of Super Bowl 55. Then, a series of major winter storms blasted through the western, southern, and eastern United States, bringing heavy snow and ice. The first two storms were both major ice storms, with the first ice storm resulting in 12 fatalities and the second causing up to 1.5 in of freezing rain accretion. The next two